Anthony Mackie is everywhere these days. He's in a Marvel movie, he's in a Netflix movie, he's in a Marvel Disney Plus TV show. I mean, soon enough he's gonna be on cereal boxes somewhere, right? Is he already on cereal boxes? What's going on, you guys? James here with another real review, and today I'm taking a look at the Netflix exclusive action movie Outside the Wire, directed by Mikael Håfström, who did direct 2011's The Right, starring Anthony Hopkins, and this film stars Anthony Mackie and Damson Idris. It releases on Netflix January 15th, so thank you so much to the team over at Netflix for giving me an early screener for review. Now, if you don't know much about this film, it's a very futuristic sci-fi type action movie. The year is 2036. There's a civil war brewing in Eastern Europe, and a drone pilot is sent into a war zone and finds himself paired with a top secret android officer on a mission to stop a nuclear attack. That sounds kind of fun. Now, before I tell you if the movie is fun and what didn't really work with this film at the end of the day, if it is your first time here at the channel, guys, welcome to Real James, where I talk about movies and review them early all the time. So if you don't want to miss out on the content daily, go ahead and get subscribed to the channel, hit the big red button below, hit the bell as well, because guys, we got a lot of content coming, okay? I got my top 10 movies of 2020 dropping this week. We're going to be talking about WandaVision. I'll drop my reactions on Friday, and so much more. And if you haven't smashed that like button, and get loud in the comments below and let me know what you guys think of this film when you see it. Are you excited for this movie if you haven't seen it? And if you have, did you like it more or less than I did? So let's get into the very first thing that I enjoyed about this movie, which is Anthony Mackie. He is having so much fun in this role. He has quick-witted line delivery. He's very smooth in these action scenes, and I really think that he took this role and just had fun with it, man. He didn't try to be over the top or very serious. He brought enough emotion to the table, and he was really natural in his performance. And it's no coincidence that the best action scenes involved him sliding across the floor and hopping up to kill his enemy while gliding backwards. That is just one example of when he goes full-on action hero, and I love it. And I'm not sure if it's intentional, but it seems like the script also included two clear references to Captain America. You know, it makes sense. Him, Steve Rogers, they had that kind of relationship. And honestly, guys, Anthony Mackie's the only reason to watch this movie outside of the action. So speaking of the action, this is one of those mindless movies that isn't meant to be layered in any sense. There are some action sequences that are really gripping, and I won't lie to you guys, the special effects weren't terrible, including the AI that they were using alongside one another. They called them Gumps, that both the Russians and the United States soldiers had, and I thought it was pretty cool. The designs looked nice. Now, what I will say is that everything was happening very quickly and sometimes at a distance, so if there was some pretty bad CGI, it was hidden, whether it be low lighting or just fast back and forth action. But what I can say is that outside of Anthony Mackie and the action, Outside the Wire doesn't have too much else to offer. The script here very much has that made-for-TV feel. For the majority of scenes in between the action, our characters spend time recapping every single event that we just watched. There's so much expositional dialogue that eventually I tuned out of what I was watching on my TV screen and my attention was pulled elsewhere, and eventually the loud noises and the gunfire pulled me back. But man, I really don't think that the conversations here were written very well at all. I also can't tell you that I love the direction here by Mikael Håfström, who does try to blend together a lot of themes but never fully commits to one. There's an anti-war message here. There's even commentary on humans versus machines, and then eventually I thought, are we getting Terminator? I don't understand why the movie went in that direction, and to me it felt like a big mess. Unfortunately, it was a huge miss, and I think that they could have capitalized on that final scene a little bit stronger, but they didn't. And while the action scenes are okay, I actually don't like how they were filmed. There's so much shaky camera in this movie that I was distracted. For most of the time when you see some intense gunfights going on and then you start to see some hand-to-hand combat, the camera shakes a little bit too much, and it's not that very smooth kind of Paul Greengrass-esque camera shaking. I mean, you've seen it in the Bourne franchise. It looks pretty darn decent there. But I was really upset with the fact that it looked as if maybe the camera person's cell phone was set on 100 for vibrate and it went off in the middle of a scene. It didn't really fit or flow in between these big battle scenes. So not only did that not add any dramatic appeal, there's also the acting outside of Anthony Mackie. Everyone outside of Anthony Mackie was pretty underwhelming. One of our main characters here, his name is Thomas Harp, and he's played by Damson Idris, and I actually enjoyed his performance in the Black Mirror episode Smithereens. That's where I know him from, and there he's electric. He brings this really intense performance, But here in Outside the Wire, he's wooden and he delivers his lines as if he's reading the script for the first time. I think he's definitely better than what we saw here in this film, but hopefully he acts more like he did in Black Mirror and less like he did in Outside the Wire. And then there's Pilu Asbæk, who you might know as one of the Greyjoys in Game of Thrones. Guys, he's not in this movie a lot, but there's a certain build-up to getting to his character, who's our main antagonist here, and it was not worth it at all. Viktor Koval is built up to be this big bad dude, and man, that scene with him and Anthony Mackie felt like it went by in an instant. So, I don't know, I guess it was cool to just see him on screen again, but other than that, there was no staying power at all. And I won't go down the list, guys, but every other supporting actor was just kind of there. So overall, you guys, Outside the Wire is really one of those sci-fi action movies that doesn't take itself too seriously, but it tries to build up some sort of story and it's not very effective. If you put it on in the background, you probably won't be too disappointed in this film, but I was focused 110% on this movie, and even I got distracted because it's not very good, it's not clean, it really is messy, and the plot structure is just all over the place. And not only that, but the writing here is so half-hearted. The movie never really commits to a central theme, and when it tries to in the final 10 to 15 minutes, it is just too little, too late. So if you guys are wondering, I probably would have to give Outside the Wire a 2 out of 5. So guys, there you have it. That's my real review of Outside the Wire, a movie that could have been so much better, but it just really didn't hit the mark. Now guys, if you want to see more reviews just like this, again, don't forget to go ahead and hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, tap on that bell so you don't miss out on any reviews and reactions just like this. And if you haven't, smash that like button, guys, and get loud in the comments and let me know, did you enjoy Outside the Wire, or do you agree with me that this movie was just a little disappointing? Alrighty guys, well I'm gonna go ahead and now get really excited for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because Anthony Mackie, man, he delivered the goods here. Now imagine him in that show. Guys, thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening.